One Piece. Bro.
So,
you start there.
Great. This is great, right? We're back. This is us when we're in different states.
Oh, God, I just realized David's avatar is still behind yours. Ew, he's creeping. He's creeping.
Look at him. He's asleep right now. He doesn't even like One Piece.
All right, kill him. There he's gone. All right, continue.
So, hope everyone's had a great weekend. And this chapter was short, but I fucking loved it. Just disclaimer, I'm going to say this right now. I enjoyed One Piece. Not One Piece. Dr. Stone way more than I did
And
One
we'll
Piece
get to that in the future. Like, next day or the day after.
First things first, right? I just have to skip. I'm skipping to it, bro.
Go ahead. Which part?
This man, Odin, just walked up.
Waltzed the fuck into the lawless land.
By himself. He's like...
Dude, he told... Like, let's not understate the fact that he told his retainers, yeah, hold on. I gotta go take a shit real quick. Oh, hold on.
Like...
Could you hear me there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I just want to make sure my thing's plugged in here. Testing.
No touching it. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this
hold on. Okay. Just want to make sure we're good here. Okay. I can't see my own audio. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I'll let you know if I can't hear you. So anyway.
Okay. Anyway. That'll be edited out. Let's not understate the fact that this man fucking told his retainers, yeah, hold on, I gotta go take a shit. And then they're like, he hasn't been back in like 2 days. What do you think he's up to? Well, he did go towards Curry. Oh, shit.
So, let's be honest. This man...
When you're on your way to take a shit and you decide to, like, overthrow a fucking, like, country or state or whatever the fuck you call this, village.
He literally was like, oh, yeah, what's up, motherfuckers? You know, I was taking a shit. Now I'm here.
I was taking a shit and I was like, what else can I be doing with my day?
Jumps in, right? He's, like, standing on top of this bitch. He's like, oh, yeah, guys, sorry. You got a little late, you know. I just finished cleanup, you know. I just beat the entirety of a fucking village by myself in 2 days, you know.
Oh, let's not forget, so not only, obviously, Ashura Doji was the leader, and keep in mind, this guy, you know, he speed blitzed Jack, and Jack, you know, obviously the fandom, because this is what fandoms do, right? Someone could be hyped up to be the best person ever, but they have one slip up, all of a sudden they're low tier, all of a sudden they're trash now. So people are, you notice that people be calling Jack trash just because he had one mess up.
Hashtag reminder, hashtag throwback to
Zoe.
Manga Black Clover comment section. Someone said that Captain Class was gonna be weak, and then they mentioned Bleach. And then Red roasted him by saying that's not how that works.
I can't. That's one of the things I hate the most about manga fans is like you have a thing where it's like, yeah, okay, so you start out and Captain Class is untouchable, and then by the end they're like average. But that's because we are in the perspective of someone who's growing in strength. Okay, we're following the main character. They haven't gotten weaker. It's that we see stronger people. You know what I mean? It's so dumb. Like, I can't stand that mentality. So like. It's like in this case, for example, like Jack is not weak. It was to show how strong Ashura Doji is. You know, like I don't know. It's just people have very. I can't stand watching people fucking like tier lists that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yep.
But yeah, point being, like not only did it have Ashura Doji, who's clearly high tier, but also this is a land that the government of Wano couldn't do anything about. Like all of their forces, they had just given up on it. They were like, yeah, there's so many criminals condensed there that we've given up. There's nothing we can do to contain them, so we just kind of like let them be criminals there because we can't do anything. And then one goddamn man, Odin, waltzes in there, that just on a whim decides, all right, I'm going to just be your guys' leader. I literally just tamed a fucking place of just criminals and rogues purely by being that much stronger than them. They all want to follow me. And then that impresses his dad so much, like, all right, I guess you're undisowned and you're the leader of that area. Congrats. You know, and there's so many cool moments here. Like when he comes in, they're like, the one rule is you can come, but you can never leave. And that goes against his big thing, because what does he hate the most? Borders. He hates this idea of borders and, like, containing people. So he's immediately like, oh, God, this again, my least favorite rule. So that already pisses him off, and he wants to change that. And that probably fuels his fire more. And then the other thing I love, too, is when he becomes the official leader of Curry, he's like, all right, well, they're probably going to send me a bunch of officials to be like my assistants in being a leader, but they're probably going to be a bunch of boring like nobodies. Fuck them. I'd rather it be you guys. And that's such a wholesome moment, because can you imagine, like you fanboy over this dude, like you're loving him and you're just following him around, and then he does this and he's like, you guys want to be like my assistants and ruling this nation? And like, can you imagine how fucking like flattering and like amazing that would feel?
Yep. So going back a bit in the chapter, so one thing I do like about this, and it just kind of shows Odin's character, right? Because one thing I have to mention this is that, remember like 2 chapters ago we were like, this guy's kind of like, because here's the thing, right? The biggest thing me and you talked about like early videos with this guy was like, he seems like a good guy, but he does dumb shit, right? Like in real life, like if this guy was in real life, usually you wouldn't want to associate this guy because he's, a fucking troublemaker. Like he does like dumb.
Although
right?
If some dude just waltzed into the White House and like beat all the politicians' asses and then like was like, I'm president now, I'd be down.
Yeah.
Assuming they're not like an authoritarian dictator. Like if they're chill, that'd be kind of amazing, honestly. Yeah.
So with all of that, right? I'm happy that Oda gave this guy sort of like okay, he's not like he's a decent human being, right? Because we kind of saw that when he fucking took the blame for all that stuff like this, but we kind of see more of it because as we go by, he's making a journal, and like I find it so funny that every person that we know now started off as like a fucking hooligan, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
like
and it shows too that like, and you're talking to someone who just got done with Assassination Classroom, and one of the big themes of Assassination Classroom was like someone that's like a troublemaker or a hooligan, they just need someone to come along and like steer them down the right path, and sometimes that steering down the right path happens through just kind of like being tougher than them. Like, hey, you think you're a tough guy? Well, I'm here to show you how much tougher I am, and why don't you follow me, and I'll put you down the right track, right? That's kind of a little bit what Kuro Sensei did. Like, oh, you think you're a tough guy, huh? Try to kill me. And like, what I love about Odin is, yeah, like, I mean, fucking, like, I am so bad with names. The main one, the one that Punk Hazard, he was cut up by law. What's his name again? I'm very bad with names.
Oh, Kiemon.
Yes, Kiemon. He was like a hooligan, a ruffian. We saw a couple chapters ago. He literally was robbing from his best friend. He was robbing his best friend's store. Like it's kind of fucked up, right? And he was clearly a dude that was kind of like a troublemaker. And this guy Odin comes along, makes him respect him so much that he follows him. And honestly, it gave him a purpose. You know that, I'm sure you've heard this before, like, a lot of times schools want like kids to join like extracurricular programs because it gives them a goal, a passion. And if you give them that, then they're doing that rather than being out in the streets, right? Like that's kind of what Odin's done accidentally without even trying to. He's given all these people someone to follow, something to do with their time, something to live for, to strive for, to dedicate their life to. And that takes them off of the streets in a weird way,
Yeah, and each one of them had like you tell each one of them had like a past, like Izo, and I'm not pronouncing the name, little brother of Izo,
Real quick, by the way, did you notice that Izo was part of the Whitebeard Pirates? Izo fought in the Marineford War.
Keep talking.
Okay, well, Thurman's seemingly dealing with some family drama because he lives in literally like a fucking foster's home for imaginary friends scenario where he has like 16 family members in one building, and it sounds like a nightmare, and I pity him to death. Well, he's dealing with that. I'll talk about Izo and how it's just kind of cool to see his past, because I know that in the original like quick flashback we had gotten a little bit ago, it did look like Izo, and everyone like, oh, is that Izo? And this is kind of confirming it. Are you back? Okay, cool. So anyway,
yes, I'm back. So
okay,
I was saying,
so Izo, the Izo kid.
One of them had like
what?
Go ahead.
So that Izo kid was actually one of the commanders of the Whitebeard Pirates.
Oh, really?
Yes. So here, I'll send it to you, because we had actually, this was a big theory. You remember a couple chapters ago where we saw like all of his retainers like talking to him back when Odin was still like blacked out, like a couple like 10 or 20 chapters ago. You remember that?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Do you have your phone on you?
Yep.
How about just Google IZO One Piece and you'll see what I'm talking about.
All right.
You remember him from Marineford War? He was a commander on the Whitebeard Pirates.
Oh wow, like, he shows up.
Remember that?
Oh, that person.
Yep. So, and now it makes sense because I bet you he's a commander of the Whitebeard Pirates from. I bet you he knew Whitebeard through through Odin.
Probably.
Isn't that cool? Oda being godly again. Because because everyone knew. By the way, once we got to Wano, like I fully expected Izo to make an appearance here because once we got to Wano, everyone was like, "Oh, that Whitebeard commander that was like in total like geisha attire. That Whitebeard commander is 100% from Wano." And here comes Oda being godly again.
God tier Goda.
So it's just cool to see. Yeah, I mean, Izo apparently was like an orphan or like part of a dance school, like trying to dance for money and wasn't getting anywhere. And look at him now, a commander in the Whitebeard Pirates. Although now the Whitebeard Pirates have been fucked. But hey, what are you
I've
gonna
been fucked. By twice.
Blackbeard came in there and was like, no.
By the Marines and the Blackbeards.
Oh, they spit roasted?
Oh yeah, so it's just nice to see that. So moving on, it's just interesting. So now he has his own country. So we're now going to the end of the chapter because I mean this chapter is kind of short now that I look at it. Right, 6 years after. So it says 6 years after that, a full.
That's when the Yonko were getting together.
That's when the fucking. So keep in mind the guy on the left here. I couldn't be the only one that thought that was Cavendish for a second. The way his design looked.
No, that's is that a guy. I assume that was Big Mom.
Ah, all right. She was skinny when she was younger, huh?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah,
bro. What the fuck? It's all the Yonkos and Cavendish.
No. It looked like Cavendish. I thought Oda was like fucking with us for some reason. I was just like, why the fuck did you draw Cavendish here?
Always like assume that you're dumb over Oda is fucking with us.
Nah.
Anyway, no, it's Kaido, Whitebeard, and Big Mom, and I'm not too sure who the ones on the right and left are, like the very right and very left. I'm sure someone can call me dumb in the comments and let me know. Steel Ram specifically seems to know everything, always and forever. I don't know how. I wish I had that sort of like. We joke and call me comprehension, but Steel Ram is the real comprehension. Jesus Christ.
Nah, he's both. He's speed henshin.
I have a funny feeling that like what he's doing is he's going through watching 600 reviews before ours, and then like he's getting like a breakdown of everything, and then he's like, "Well, here it is, guys, totally from my memory."
Here it is.
I'm fucking with you, by the way. You know I love
you. Accumulate all the reviewers say so, and then make Control Chaos look like.
See, I purposely try not to watch any reviews before we do ours because I don't want to taint our reviews with like other jokes from other. I want it to be uniquely ours.
You watch reviews. The only reviews I watch is from Black Clover.
I watch reviews after we're done with ours. And all I typically watch is Tekkings and King of Lightnings because you got to get the yos. You got to get your weekly yo. Yeah,
I have two. I should look up more Jujutsu Kaisen reviewers. That's great.
But yeah, I don't know. I really liked the wholesomeness of like Odin's crew here. The Be My Samurai moment I loved. I love just how quickly he was able to gain back the respect of his dad. And speaking of quickly, I was curious in your thoughts on this because this does seem to be a bit more of Oda rushing. I was actually seeing a lot of complaints on Twitter, including some of our own fans, basically saying that they weren't a fan of how rushed this was, and they wished that it was more like, well, these are his retainers, they're important characters, we should have seen more spread out his meeting of them. What do you think about that?
I disagree. I think.
But do you real reasons?
This is fine.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I honestly, to me, like usually you'll know I'll say if something feels rushed, but this honestly just didn't feel rushed to me. This felt like a casual Oda flashback because I mean,
I mean, I see their point a little bit. It is kind of like a montage because it's like going from like thing that it's like, and then this happened, and then this happened. You know, it's not just like events happening. It's very much like jump to jump to jump. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I get that, but I still don't really see the issue because I think how it's structured is perfectly. I think what makes it even better is that like Odin was keeping a journal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I like how it was done with like these are the records we found from his journal, and this is how. Yeah, so I think that's a clever way, and I almost think that was Oda's excuse to do it quicker because we all know Oda's basic at this point. it seems like Oda's like on borrowed time. Like, I need to get this shit done. Did you see the shit that came out recently where he was like, he put a fucking hard foot down. He was like, nah, 5 years, it's done.
5 years. 5 years seems so far away, but it really isn't.
It's not. Like, if you we get roughly 30 to 40 chapters. It's like 30 to 40 chapters a year. So like, you know, hey Siri, hold on a second. Hey Siri, 35 times 5. Let's just say, yeah, it's like 175 to 200 chapters max more.
Like, think about that for a second, right? This is, in 5 years, we're gonna have another Shonen Jump anniversary, right? Like, it's gonna be their 55th anniversary, right? So on the 55th anniversary, or something anniversary.
60th, but sure.
60. Oh, is it? Because was it? No, it was 45th and then 50th.
Oh no, you're right. Go ahead.
Because Jump Force was for the 50th.
Yeah.
You know, maybe this time, 55th, they'll do a better Shonen Jump game. But
you know what I want? When One Piece ends, I want a fucking massive One Piece game with like every single One Piece character as like at least ones that fight as playable characters. Like, I'm talking like the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 of One Piece games.
Get on it, Arc System.
I want to be able to fight. I want to be able to play a match. Duval versus Wanze. That's the match I want to do. And I want it well made. I want them to like have unique. Bruh, can you imagine? Oh my god. I need it.
Yep, just pester. This is 5 years. Pester them for that. Or
like we better get some. When One Piece ends, there has to be like there's got to be movies. There's got to be games. There's got to be. I need it. Although everything but milking it. And luckily, Oda already put his foot down on no Boruto.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, remember we did a video on that? He was like, no, it ain't happening. I refuse. God bless.
So, it really is interesting. So, I think those complaints are kind of this hot air, honestly, because I think, what really more should he have done? Like, there's nothing. This flashback is straight to the point and straightforward.
I think I don't know, more characterization. Like, I can see both sides. One in the sense that he needs to kind of get moving in order to finish the series. I understand, but the other side is, these would have been more emotional. These moments definitely would have been more emotional if they were drawn out. I'll be honest, right? So like, for example, if we saw like the Izo and his like younger sibling dancing for money or whatever, like if that was like a couple pages of him walking up, seeing them dancing, seeing like a panel of the adults, being like, like scoffing at them or maybe like spitting at their feet, like, get out of here, you dirty kids. Like, just anything that, like, it's just like a slower build up to it probably would have been more emotional. But I will admit that the journal thing was a good excuse to make it go quicker.
Yeah. My counter to that is just like, we already know this though. Like, we know that I see that point, but my argument to that is, well, we don't really technically really need that because we already know. Like, most of the information that they want, we already know of. It would just be Oda just going
right,
more.
But my counter to that is you clearly don't understand how storytelling works, because storytelling isn't just getting information from point A to point B as quickly as possible. Storytelling is how the information is perceived. So I could very easily, write a text adventure of One Piece like Luffy rubber, Zoro swordsman, childhood friend die by falling downstairs. Not very emotional, is it? No, it's in the presentation. How it's presented, the music, the pacing, the voice acting, what they're saying, the little panels of like their facial expressions changing. Pacing matters. You can't just give me a text synopsis of the story. It's pacing and how it's presented definitely matters. But like I said, I see both sides here. I'm kind of in the middle.
My argument to that is we already have that in present time. We already have what they all feel for him in the present time.
Right, but don't you want to see how it happened?
We just don't know the reason why. But it going like this is it's basically just showing them how they met and basically how what they were doing prior before they met Odin, and then what Odin did quickly to because here's the thing, right? We see all this, but I'd almost say that the introduction to the meeting isn't as emotional. I think them getting to know each other like towards the end is actually be more emotional because here's the thing, right? We already know from meeting them that Odin. It's been established that Odin has this aura around him that gathers people towards him. So that's one thing, right? And then Odin kicking the shit out of them because keep in mind that every person he met, Raizo, Izo, Kanjuro, he beat the shit out of them because they were fucking delinquents. And then we see this that when Odin does that, people around him, like him and shit like that. Even with Ashura, we saw the off-screen battle of him kicking his ass, but he was like, "No, I'm not going to kill you. It'd be a waste to kill you," right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's rushing. I just say that we already have this information that Odin is a person who attracts.
I guess we did get a lot of this foreshadowed, like current time before we got to this flashback.
We all know, literally, Ashura is the person who's been waiting for rotations of Odin. Odin clearly, they're fucking, for God's sakes, we literally saw Kiemnon fucking breaking down, saying, we've been waiting for this for 20 years. We've been waiting for this for so long just to avenge Odin, right? Clearly, in present time, we know just how much they loved him. It's been, thrown in our faces, in fact, how much they love Odin and how much a good guy he was to them, right? Mm-hmm. So this quick introduction of all of them meeting him is really just, we don't really need to go more and more in depth with it because we already, I think what would be more impactful is Odin, is us interacting with them after they met. I get your point of how, it would have been more impactful with this chapter if we would have had more drawn out, backstories for each character. But then, like I said, my counter to that is, do we really need that? Because we already know. Because one of the biggest things you say is show don't tell, right?
Right, so, and that's my point. This was more telling because it was like reading journal entries.
But wouldn't you say that he already kind of showed that in the present time already?
Teensy bit. I guess I'm just concerned as long as the whole flashback isn't just montage for as long as they slow it back down after this little montage bit. Yeah.
I mean, it really felt it. Honestly, I feel like people are just complaining just to complain because this flashback so far hasn't really felt rushed to me.
No, I'm not complaining to complain. Some people might be for sure, but to me, it's just I get concerned because Oda's been doing this ever since. It seems like ever since Dressrosa ended. I think because I remember that was a big thing. Dressrosa went way longer than he expected. I don't know if you saw any of those interviews. Dressrosa was way longer than Oda expected it was going to be because Oda just kind of writes week by week on a whim. He doesn't really. And he's someone who extends a lot. He's like, oh, well, I want to extend on this, I want to extend on this. And I think that after Dressrosa went double the length that he expected it to go, he kind of had to have a wake-up call and was like, I'm never going to finish this if I don't get on gear, right? Because ever since Dressrosa, he's taken his pacing, which used to be slow as fuck, which, at times that was annoying, but looking back on it, I appreciated the slow as fuck pacing because you really got everything detailed out. But ever since Dressrosa ended, his pacing's been uncharacteristically fast for him, and so I'm just very on edge whenever shit's getting montaged through, I guess.
Yeah, so keep in mind, I wasn't saying you were complaining.
Right.
I know you were playing devil's advocate. I was just saying that there's people on Twitter who when me and you call out when Oda's doing some shit. We done it.
Yeah, when he skipped fucking page 1 versus Stealth Black Sanji.
Yeah, we've talked about Oda's pacing, but I mean I feel like some people on Twitter are just calling it, just being little bitches. I think, right?
He's not calling you out specifically, Steel Ram. It was Steel Ram on Twitter that said this, by the way.
No, I'm calling out Twitter manga fan bitches who complain about something going as fast or slow than what they originally thought. It's so annoying.
Have you not done that ever?
A bunch of people complain. No, but I mean,
I've never done it.
When it's justified.
Oh yeah, well you can't go there though because opinions are subjective.
Not according to you, bitch.
Well, I joke.
Do you? I don't know. You make that joke a little bit too much.
I genuinely joke.
Thank you, Rick.
Sure.
Thank you, Rick.
When Senku and Rick fucking fuse. Oh my god.
Senku Rick.
Senku, Rick, and Jimmy Neutron have a threesome. Aged up Jimmy Neutron.
Yo, he had to correct himself. Yo, he thought about it. He thought like it's a split second after you said the threesome, like after the sum, you were like, oh shit.
That was massively faster than light, Thurman.
Yo, like you did a whole like Luffy hockey observation. You were like, fuck. That sounded better in your head, I bet. But once you actually said it, shit.
I can't wait until I run for something one day and all this shit comes out, because my hope is that, because here's the thing, right? Donald Trump's our fucking president, okay? Clearly, like, it's not about what you've done in your past. It's about how you react to it. It's about how you react to getting called out, okay? So if you show weakness when you get called out, it fucks you up. But if you're like, okay, so, then people forget about it in a week. So I'm genuinely not too worried. Like, when people are like, oh my God, you made jokes on an internet show. And I'll be like, yeah, I did. Has anyone else ever made jokes, for fun in their lives? Yes? Cool. All right. Are we over it? Are we talking about policy now? That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I can't wait.
It's just such a, you just got to take it, like,
take it in stride.
Okay.
Do not show weakness.
Good.
You just if you act in a way that you're like, no, I've done nothing wrong, then people will be like, well, all right. Some people will be like, I guess you did nothing wrong, and then other people will be like, no, fuck him, and then a week later they'll forget.
Yep. I'm just going
and that's a lesson for life. But yeah, any more One Piece talk or predictions?
Short ass chapter. So these two people that landed on Wano, I'm curious to see.
I just want to. Am I dumb? Is this Nekomamushi and Inuyarashi?
Probably.
That's what I assumed, but like, let me look closer.
Where are these animals? Because on my official manga app, it says, this nigga says, these what are these animals? Hairy humans, monstrous creatures. They are unsettling. So probably those two, Nekomamushi. Because
I assume it's those two. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Am I the only one that like really I'm like on them as characters?
I like when they fought, but I mean, other than that, I don't really know.
They're just meh to me. So that's like like I really don't care. Like, not a lot of the retainers am I very interested in. They're meh. Even
I didn't
Kienmo,
like.
And I'm like
I like Nekomushi's introduction in the anime though. I thought that was really hype, but.
Oh, when he came in, like, oh, it's nighttime now. Yeah, no, they were cool, but like as characters,
As characters, no. As characters, like a Goku Vegeta.
They're all right.
For Zoe.
Yeah, I'm waiting for. I need me some. Like, so far, like as new characters go, ever since I switched over, because I switched over to manga from the anime somewhere in the Dressrosa arc, probably like you, I think that the new characters that have been introduced ever since I went to manga only that I really like are Katakuri. I'm a big fan of Queen so far. Odin, of course, is amazing. I like Kaido. Let's see here. I liked Pudding to an extent. I think some people found her annoying, but I didn't find her too annoying. But yeah. Honestly, I think
she's been traumatized. Like,
Pudding had a very good reason to be annoying.
That's the whole rant I had about how people kept saying
hate
like
Rebecca.
People hate Rebecca and Shirahoshi because they cry a lot, and I'm like, you realize there's a whole fucking reason why they cry a lot.
It's true. Although Luffy, I mean, they're just following after the main character. I mean, Luffy fucking shat all over Shirahoshi.
Yeah, but to be fair, Luffy hates that. Do we ever know why Luffy hates when people cry babies? Do we know why?
He hates weakness, right? Well, yeah. So I mean, I've just started watching One Piece again with one of my best friends, Deanna, and she was first of all, she loves it and it's amazing, and I'm really enjoying watching it again. But he does that in the first episode with Kobe. He's just like, because Kobe's like, oh well, I'm too brave to stand up to Alvida or whatever, and then Luffy's like, I hate people like you, and I think his thing is that he can't stand people that aren't free and that like contain themselves. His whole thing is freedom. So he can't stand people that are too cowardly to like stand up for themselves. So I think that like Shirahoshi embodied like what he hated the most, which was she was literally like in a tower and he thought, oh, you're locked in here, I'll break you out. And Shirahoshi's like, no, I'm choosing to be in this tower. I'm locking myself up. And he's like, wow, what a bitch. Like, are you kidding me? Like you are choosing to be locked in a prison when you could go out and be free. You know, like because he can't fathom people that don't want freedom and people that choose to not have freedom. They choose security over freedom, safety over freedom. You know, I think he hates that shit on like a deep level.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I think did I do it on a video? I think I rented it.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah. Your
yeah.
Rebecca rant is well documented.
Okay, you have to point me to that video again because
I'd have to find it. I assume it'd be one of the One Piece ones, but yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm looking forward to more One Piece flashback because I'm hoping by the end of this flashback it's gonna make me cry because that's classic One Piece.
You already cried once this weekend.
Yeah, ending of Assassination Classroom. Holy fuck, Jesus. Oh.
Ha! Never cried.
Yeah, that honestly makes you more of a bitch than me because you're holding it in.
Yeah, I'm a definition of toxic and fragile masculinity. You know, just toss me in the garbage.
Ew.
Along with all those toxic and
try
fragile.
not to cry? I don't understand.
Oh no, I just hate to cry. I
Why?
I hate feeling.
You know how good it feels to cry? It feels so good to get that out.
I feel worse.
Weird.
Oh yeah,
what
that's
a tortured existence you live.
I need to go to therapy for it because I hate being weak.
Ew. Oh God, your fucking family raised you toxically, didn't they?
No, my mother raised me perfectly fine.
I love being weak, bro. Like, if I could choose, I'd be like a femboy, honestly.
Femboy?
Like my favorite, the characters I always fucking flock to are like the tiny, frail, skinny dudes that are like stealthy and like speedy. Physical strength is not a thing I want. I want to be able to avoid and dodge because I'm not a fighter. I hate fighting. I'd much rather have defensive stats in my life.
It's crazy too because it's such a weird thing. It's like if I had children, I had boys, I would tell them, "Go ahead, cry. It's okay to show emotion," but I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. People have told me that my size like intimidates them. So like I intimidate people without even realizing it, and I hate it. You know what I mean?
I hate people like that. I hate people who make someone else feel insecure about themselves just because of how they were born. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
People like that are actually toxic. They're actually people like, and you're right. There are people like that make other people feel bad for how they look, how they were born, something they can't control. And you're toxic. People who are like that are toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, don't blame. This goes for men and women. Don't fucking make someone else feel bad for something that they can't control.
I'm trying to think how this topic got brought up. I don't know. I just think, I've lost it. I got way too deep down the rabbit hole of my own thoughts, honestly. But like, yeah, I mean,
how One Piece is gonna make you cry. I was like,
no, dude, it's great. I love being emotional.
I never cry.
See, because my dad did that shit. My dad was like he tried to be like be a man, don't cry, blah blah blah, and I just did the opposite of what he said because I hated him. It's not super fair to my dad. He had good points, but like for the most part, he was a dick to me. So I was like, "Fuck him. I'm gonna do the opposite of what he says." I don't know. I'd say embrace your emotions
I'll give
because
this chapter
honestly, I feel the most alive when I'm crying or angry or I don't know. Like numbness is the worst feeling to have. Embrace those emotional extremes as long as you're not like shanking a dude in an alley out of anger. That's a bad emotional extreme. Don't go to that one. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Have your thoughts. I keep interrupting you.
Oh no. 8 out of 10 chapter, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Good chapter. I'm excited to see where it goes. And with that, peace.